In this lesson, I'm going to show you some fancy but easy to use formulas to count text or numbers in Excel. So let's start. If you see here in my table, I have 4 data points. First, I have a text that is coming from a formula. Then I have a number without any formula. Then I have a blank cell. And finally, I have a blank cell coming from a formula. Now, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to count only the cells that have a text, which means I need to get 1 as a result because only one cell has a text. Now the problem here is that if you use isText here and you apply it on this cell which has a formula in it but is returning a blank and you put enter, you're gonna get true. So that means that this cell is actually a text but it's a blank text. So this is where it gets complicated to count the number of cells which have really a text. What we're gonna do is a first version of this formula. So we're gonna use equal Countif, and then we're gonna select our range, which is this one, comma, and then the criteria. In criteria, you know, sometimes you do this. What we're gonna do is the opposite. We're gonna do this time. And then we close the parentheses. If you do enter, you get 1. You see, it's like magic. This is the sign you have to use. Another version of this formula that I like to use is the following. Equal Countif, same range. And here in my criteria, I'm going to use a few signs. So you have a star sign, which means any number of characters. And you have the question mark, which means 1 character. So if I do question mark and then star as a criteria and I close the double quotation and close the parenthesis, I am telling Excel that I want any cell that has at least 1 character, which is the question mark. So if I say enter, I get similar results. Now the next one that we're going to look at is counting text, and we want to include the blank formula. So in this case, what we're going to do is counting the text, the 5, and the blank formula, but we don't want to count the blank cell right here. So we will get 3 at the end. So what do? We do equal Countif, and then we select the range. For the criteria, we open the double quotation, and this time we use the not equal to. We close the double quotation. If you see here, I didn't add anything. It means not equal to nothing, right? Then I close the parenthesis, I say enter, and I get 3. In this case, it will be the text, the 5, and the empty formula. The last one we will look at is counting text or number without having any blank. So the blank formula, I don't want it, and I don't want a blank cell. I only want those 2. So it should give me 2. So here I'm gonna use a tricky formula. I'm gonna use Sumproduct. So I'm gonna say equal Sumproduct, open parenthesis, and I'm gonna say len of, so the length of this is bigger than 0. So I am telling Excel that I want anything that has at least 1 character. If the length of the characters is 0, then I don't want it. Now here you need to do a small trick. So Sumproduct needs to multiply things or do something. So in order to multiply, I can either multiply by 1 or I can use 2 minuses. So if you see here, I added 2 minuses, and then I open the parenthesis, len of my range more than 0, and then 2 parentheses. I say OK, enter, and I get 2. Now how to understand this formula? We can go to formulas and do evaluate formula. So here, step by step, it will show me how the formula works. So if you do evaluate, you can see that I get some random numbers here, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get true, false, etc. So my first 2 cells are true because the length is more than 0, and then the last 2 are false. And this is the part of len more or equal than 0. Then when I multiply by these two minuses, this is where the magic happens, and this is where I get my 2. So the true will be converted to a 1, and it will be added. And this is how to use those formulas to count text or numbers, eliminate blank cells, don't eliminate blank cells, and so on.